Boobs, breasts, ghouls,
Ghosts! Welcome to the show.
we're your hosts.
It's episode 1, baby! Woo!
Oh, honey, now. Oh, you're frozen.
Jesus Christ. Oh God.
You're,
Hey,
you're back. Can you hear me?
yeah. Okay. We're back. What's the
We're
episode
back?
today?
Well, what's the
I'm
episode?
sorry, that's my urge was to jump straight in, but we've been away for
Right.
so long, it's been 4 years, so maybe
So-
we should.
It's weird because so much has changed in 4 years, but then at the same time, we're both in pajamas, sat in bed, and not a thing has changed. Maybe some
Not-
locations, some age.
So what have you been doing for the last 4 years?
Do you know, that is such a horrible question because I've journaled for the past 4 years and I still don't know. No, I haven't upgraded. I've downgraded cities. And I'm just further apart from you, which sucks. That's the worst part.
Oh, keep it light.
Just gonna be crying.
I'm kidding.
But no, it's about time we had a revival. We've been busy and we've had our own projects and we're working women.
We are graduated.
You have. You've been
Second
to
year you.
Fringe?
I did do
No.
Fringe.
Oh my Lord. We were wains, as they say in Ireland, when we were doing this.
Time is a cruel mistress, and she comes for us all.
I wonder if, yeah, I wonder if we knew when we started this that we would get 2 seasons in, have a 4 year hiatus, which is very cool, I think. Good bands do. And now we're back, and hopefully with a bang. We've got a
We're
theme.
bigger, we're better, we're older. We're sexier. You have a lot more tattoos. You didn't have one when we did this last time.
I know, I was just a blank canvas, and now I've got 13. Tiny ones, though,
That's
so they amalgamate to 4.
amazing.
You're going to be getting one. I hope this isn't me,
Yeah.
like, breaking the news to your mom.
You have to take it to me. No, take me to them. Wait, you have to take me to the place, the parlor.
Why are you an in-house tattooist to come around like a hairdresser? Oh, gosh. I don't talk to people anymore. I'm remote. So to me, this is either like a work call or the most interaction I've had with a human in a very long time. So
Oh, don't. I started sertraline, like the old anxiety medication. And
yeah.
the only thing that's changed is I've started yapping again. The way I did listener, I did an audition last week in Cardiff for a school, and the way everyone was trying to like think about their monologues, get ready before the audition, and I was like, so how's everyone feeling? What's everyone's monologues? Is everyone having a good time? What's your worst experience at an audition?
Love
Should we
that.
add it to on Instagram?
They may be listening now then if you did.
Oh, they didn't add me, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh. See, no, but I love that because you're like a distraction tactic for them. Instead of the working up on the stress, you're there to just take the mind off it. Oh, I love that.
Right, is it about time that we open this podcast with our shenanigans? There's no plan, there's no hope, there's no structure.
Yeah, okay. I mean, we've got a vague theme. We've got a sentiment in
Yes,
which
we have an overarching feeling, vibe, suggestion. But it doesn't mean we're going to carry on doing that.
Oh God, no. Very us to tangent off.
End up in any realm by the end of this, as you can if you read a good book.
Oh, that was such a good segue. We should just be sponsored by books. Just like books in general should sponsor us. That was beautiful. Waterstones, if you're listening.
How do you, all right, because you're a bookish person, how do you feel
Yeah.
about a Kindle?
Oh, see, okay. First of all, I want to caveat our podcast. I don't want to offend anyone who's listening. I will also may offend some religious viewers later on because I have some things to say about the Bible. But we'll come back to that. Again, I do not mean to, this is just a subjective opinion. Oh, I have another question. Remind me about that. Kindle, pros and cons. Brilliant for travel, brilliant for reading when there's no light, brilliant for lightweight, multiple books. I get it. I do get it. Also, a brilliant surface for covering in stickers. We know what we're like for stickers. But I am a whore for a physical book because a book isn't just the story, it's the look, it is the smell, it's how pretty it makes your bedside table. So I would get a Kindle if someone got one for me and I would use it on holidays, but always physical book. What about you?
I am so anti Kindle. And I don't know where it's gone, and I wish I could find it. Literally had a pin badge that was a Kindle. I bought it from Waterstones in maybe like 2014. It's a pin badge that has a Kindle with a big red cross that goes across.
It's so funny. Kindle won't be sponsoring this.
Honestly, and I'm like buy so many books, and for what? Because I'm not reading them. And I specifically, I've realized there's a local bookstore to us, or well, to me, and it used to be you too.
No, don't. No, don't.
It's like a charity bookshop. They sell books for like £1. So I go in there and I just find the book that was going to make me look the most clever on my shelf. How am I going to read it? No. The way I went in there and I've started buying Shakespeare.
Do not. No, it's not. That's going to be a placemat.
Just to put on my table so I look like well read. I am pretentious.
I love that. It's like if there's an apocalyptic dystopian future where all that remains are our houses, you know, like we've all been eaten by zombies, and someone walks in thinking she was a well-read gal. Like that's because
yeah, I shit you not, I've not read a full book in like 6 months. I've read like halves of books, but like it's front to back.
I love that. To be fair, though, that's a unique reading experience because now you've got the beginning of one story that ended in another story. You know,
Yeah, I
you're
have a
unique.
list that I need to take on holiday because that's when I get the most reading done. Because you're not doing jack shit. You can't get on the Wi-Fi because you're in some like I'm usually up a mountain because that's where the cheap hotels are. So I have some like harder reads because I'm like, I'm gonna sit down and this is all I can do all day.
Yeah,
That
no.
and stands in the pool.
Oh, see, imagine if you could do both. Underwater reading, feet in the air.
That's the only way a Kindle would be beneficial, like a waterproof Kindle.
I mean, you'd definitely drown after like a page and a half, but it would be so worth it to be on the news for that. That's so good. But okay, if we're talking about holiday reads, then I have a question because you just said you want to get some hard reading in. Do you mean hardcore page sifting, or do you mean actual, you know, more intellectual reading? Because I feel like everyone on holiday reads a bit of a slutty book. That's my mom read book. I remember I finished my book on holiday, so I read hers, and it was I was 13. It was not okay. So tell me what's your holiday choices?
Can I be? I said I was pretentious earlier. I have a list of academic books
No.
about the Dada art movement, which listener, you'll come to know more about over time. Because I'm like, I'm never gonna sit down. To be fair, last book I read was a book about Dada, but I had to sit there and I sat there with a highlighter because I was like, if I have to like highlight the key bits, it will go in me. That's what she said.
Michael Scott.
I've got that. And I've also got Into the Vampire because I started watching the TV show as I was rereading it, but it got to a bit that I don't like because it makes me sad because I've already read it and I know I've watched the movie a lot. So I like gave up on the show and the book at the same time because I wasn't emotionally prepared. And now it's been like a month.
Oh, it's hard to get back in after a month as
Yeah.
well, especially when it's a sadness rut.
Yeah. I did that with the TV show Hannibal. I got too emotionally invested and was like, I've got to take a break because I was like just crying like every day about fucking Will Graham, and I didn't pick it up again. I like never finished the show.
Oh, I love that so much. Do you ever, or did you ever flick to the back of a book just to check that the ending was to your liking? And if it wasn't, just not read the book after that. Okay, so that's a normal thing.
Yes. I don't know. There's something masochistic about it, maybe, because I'll read like the first chapter and be like, read the last page, and then I'm not to work it out because I'm not smart enough to like for that. Just to see if like I'm like, is this romance actually?
Well, I was gonna say, because you mentioned, and again, I think this is like a Kindle POV. You mentioned you liked highlighting books. Oh,
Only
that
academic books. I don't annotate like non. What am I trying to say? I don't annotate fiction, just
non-academic books. Yeah.
non-fiction.
Okay, okay. I respect that. I can get on board with that. And I don't mean any disrespect to, because I have some friends who read and I'm a massive fan of the sticky notes, the pastel coloured
I
highlighters.
don't
I
get
love
it
them.
because how can you be consuming the story if you're busy
Yeah.
be writing shit down?
Exactly my point. And that's why I had a problem like even highlighting stuff for school because it stopped me understanding the full paragraph because I'd stopped but yeah, with a fictional story, people highlight things that are like, oh, this is the romantic bit, or this is her conversation with brothers. And it's like, I don't get it. I don't get the point, but each
I
to their
don't
own.
get it at all.
No,
I
so it's
just,
not for me.
yeah, I don't understand it. I don't, but also for me, it feels like, and I know I'm in the minority with this, I hate subtitles on TV. Unless it's like a foreign film and you need them.
Yeah,
But you
yeah.
know, when people are like, oh, I can't hear without subtitles, what the f do you mean? What do you mean?
I love that. Here with your eyes. I mean, I am a lover of subtitles only because whenever I watch a film at my dad's, usually my stepmom's gone up to bed and the room is above the living room, and we're watching like a Jason Statham movie, a big action film on Netflix.
Okay.
So you got your big explosions, your car chases, they're big loud scenes. And I don't know what it is with Netflix, or maybe it's my dad's TV. They're always really loud, but then the dialogue is always really quiet.
Yeah,
So my
I
dad
feel
is
that to be
constantly
fair.
yeah, exactly. So I like a
I do get
subtitle
you.
because I don't know, I do like a subtitle, but I understand that it draws you away from the scene. I'll give you
I
that.
think I get too wrapped up in reading and then I don't
Yeah.
actually watch the thing.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know, I think at some point when we've got a bigger audience, we should do a poll. I would love to do a subtitle poll because I think we each have our own respective um agreeers,
Yeah.
supporters. That's the word.
Yeah. I was just like, she knows more words than me.
Do you know, that's another thing with reading that really tears me out of the flow. And I wrote a piece on Medium about it, about how I write full time for a living, but I don't know a lot of big words. Because I'm reading a lot of fantasy at the minute, they use a lot of big terms. I am constantly stopping to go on dictionary.com, the app, to look up a word, and then it
That's
breaks
the
me out
thing.
of the flow.
How do you write? I struggle with fantasy. Like, I started reading Witcher, and I think I got like two books in. But it's the quantity of names. How do you keep up with like Lothian and fucking like all these like crazy, crazy long like dragon names, and everyone's got a clan. Like I just can't keep up with.
It is hard, isn't it? I was reading Fourth Wing, and I think the dragon names, I think she modelled a lot of them on like Welsh names. And Welsh, as we know, is not the easiest to pronounce when you haven't seen the word before. But it annoys me if
Yeah,
I can't pronounce the word right, especially if it's frequent, because I don't want to just like skim over the word. So it slows me down. I need subtitles for the actual subtitles. It's a lot. Like the phonetic spelling underneath would really do a service, but I understand that it's not for
yeah.
them
There
to
is something
do.
about fantasy names that is just like it's just especially when there's like 100 people that you're supposed to be like remembering. And like all the places also have like triple barrel names, and it's calm down.
I'm with you there, but I will say, and as we both know, when it comes to a big city with all these fantasy names, always helps having a gorgeous map at the beginning of the
Oh,
book.
I love a book map.
Oh, it actually influences my decision now. Like, genuinely, I want a hardback book with a foil map across 2 pages and one at the back of the book if they're really splashing out.
I don't have a good enough memory.
And it's like when they describe these places, like, oh, it was on the northwest coast of this other place. I love that. I love the detail. And I know that in the author's head, like with us, with ours, they can see it. That is their own world.
Yeah,
But I am constantly flicking back to the map because I'm like, I don't even know where some places in England are. I like genuinely forgot that I live in the northwest now. I don't even know. Do you know what I mean? So a fantasy world is going to be even harder. for me to grapple with, but I love the commitment in making them out.
What's the worst vampire movie I've ever seen yesterday?
What?
The Invitation.
I don't know. Is that a new film?
It's on Netflix. It's literally Dracula fanfiction. A really bad Dracula fanfiction. It sounds like a terrible Wattpad. I've like never watched a movie that I've been like, what the fuck? Nothing happens, but he's not hot enough for it to be like he's just not a
Worthwhile.
charismatic vampire. He like
Ah,
he doesn't toe the line between creepy and hot well enough. Sorry
see.
to that man,
No, he's listening. It's game over
but
for his career. Have you letterboxed it?
I have indeed.
Right. I actually genuinely turned to you, for like film support.
I gave it 1.5 stars.
What? Oh, that bad?
Yeah. This is I like this other person's post. So thank you, Anna. That's all her name is. So
Shout out to Anna.
Anna, who said this is what would have happened if someone had let 13-year-old me make a movie.
This is really that Wattpad like.
So bad. My friend Chloe gave it 2 stars and she said, "You're telling me she didn't look at that black hair, blue eyes, and translucent skin and didn't once think, hey, you look like a vampire. It was giving Wattpad." My boyfriend gave it 1.5 stars and he just says, "What if we made Get Out but aimed it at horny goths?"
Well, then you'd have been the perfect audience.
Based on that review, I was buzzing, but it actually sucks balls.
Oh man, see, you've enticed me to watch it more because one, it's a
Yeah,
vampire film, and I wanna.
so many, oh, so many characters. She meets these characters, these old people, and he's like, "Oh, come in, my name's Jonathan." And I went, "Here we go." And he went, "Yes, Jonathan Harker. This is my wife, Mina." And one of the other characters, the main vampire, his name was fucking Lord Deville.
Oh, no, you can't be too on the nose like that. No,
It
that's
was
not.
ass. It was so
No,
ass.
I will
Did it?
say, I will say though, as much as I was just jabbing at it, it worked beautifully with Cruella de Vil. She's literally like a
Yes, it
cruel
did.
devil. She lived up to that name.
That is when you're a kid, you find out for the first time. It's a big day.
Do you ever feel like in those moments, it's like you created it, even though you didn't? But discovering it feels as good as the creation of it. It's like, oh my God,
Mm, You
look what I
know
just did.
why? My little sister, until she was like 16 years old, genuine believe she genuinely believed she'd written the song "Kumbaya."
Oh, she had like a past life memory or something because I mean she's talented. Is this Isabel? Oh God, Isabel. We'll have her on as a guest. We will be certainly. We'll sing
Oh,
Kumbaya and oh God, that's beautiful. That's going in my journal, that.
good in it.
That is beautiful. Oh God. Right, well,
Right,
we've tangented off before we even begun again. Like,
we've written some questions for each other, discussion
hmm,
points, if you will.
I will.
Do you want to start? Have you got a question for the room, for the listener, for the people, for the
Do you
masses?
know what? I'm gonna start. We'll go tame or just not tame. No, we ain't got time for tame. Okay. Book themed. Who would win in a fight?
Oh,
We've got your classic early Testament Bible
oh,
versus
savage.
the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy. And I don't just mean like which book is bigger. I mean like just the whole realm of belief. Like it's Jesus beating like Gandalf. I was gonna say Dumbledore then, and I was about to get smited. Um, so what do you think?
That's crazy. See, if you'd said like New Testament, I would say Lord of the Rings instantly. But
Hmm.
Old Testament is low-key savage. There's lots of like blood and guts in that book.
You read the
Demons.
Bible,
No, but like I I know the gist.
the gist, the plot.
I like know a bit. I know some of the demon stuff because I like we're never gonna have a Christian listener ever again. I briefly got into like learning about Satanism.
Do you know, I was
It
just
might
gonna
just,
say.
it might just like the band Ghost.
Oh, that's definitely more your read than the Bible, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, but like demons eat babies and shit.
Mm,
But then
mm.
some of the demons are just like fallen angels and they're hot. So I don't think I feel like Lucifer Morningstar, he's not like he's not like a I don't think he's like Sauron.
I think he's misunderstood. Like you say, he's just a
Me too.
fallen. He
I
just didn't
I
get on
don't
with
know
his dad.
I don't know whether it's because I'm emo to my core, but I'm just like he was just rebellious and
Yeah,
he was just had different ideas and you kicked him out and made him
yeah.
the god of fucking the sinners and death and fire. That sounds like a god problem to me.
He was just the goth girl in a religious family, and like obviously he's going to get shunned.
Honestly,
Not a
it's
bad
like
person.
Lilith, like the only story, like not the only story I know from the Bible. I know some stories from the Bible, but like the Lilith story with her and fucking being the first woman pre-Eve, and she was all like, "I don't want to be Adam's bitch. Like I'm my own person." And then he was like, "Sod off, you hoe." I'm gonna have to cut all of this because
It's like, the church will come after you.
she gets punished by God for being like an independent woman. I don't think that that's makes her evil.
No, she
Maybe I
shouldn't be.
romanticize it a little bit.
No, but she fit in well these days. But you're gonna have to tell me. I thought freaking Eve was the first woman. Who that was Lilith?
No, Lilith is the first one, and she was like a full person, like Adam was. And then she was like, Adam was like, be my like submissive bitch, and she was like, go fuck yourself. So then she get cast out. He was like, the fuck off then. So she fucks off, and then gets punished by God. And then they make Eve out of Adam's rib to be his like wife.
Isn't that like sexual cannibalism? If he's like his own rib is his wife.
It just is so. The whole Bible gives me the ick.
Does
It
that
gives
mean
me the
all women? It literally is. That's a good category. What books give you the ick? Bible.
ick.
But so does that mean like all women were made out of Adam? Then if they're like the parents of us all, we're
I know
no.
it's grim. And then they're like, oh, if you bite this apple, you'll know everything. Why wouldn't you bite the apple? And
Yeah,
they don't
imagine
tell
some
her it's a
exams.
bad apple. They're not like that.
Exactly.
That apple's gonna make the world shit. She's just like, well, I'll fucking eat the. I'd eat the apple.
Yeah, if they're giving you a gift, but they don't tell you that the gift is essentially a bomb, and then of course you're going to open the gift. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man. So so what's your verdict then?
The Bible's it's brutal. It's savage. Parts of it, Old Testament. Obviously, some of it, a great swathe of it, except for the bits where God tells fathers to kill their sons and like kills everyone on earth with a fucking flood and all that shit.
Oh
It's
Jesus.
like love your friends and hold hands and shit. Come by our Lord of the Rings. The thing Lord of the Rings has going for it is the wars. They are
Mm.
very organized. The battles are
Oh
organized.
yeah.
The fighting is organized.
Yeah.
Gollum, he's a wild card. So I feel like it's a pretty even fight, but I think Lord of the Rings might take it just because one, they've got like elves and shit, so much
Yeah.
easier than angels. Although
Oh yeah.
biblically accurate angels, freaks,
Demons like aren't well,
weird. I'd rather hang
yeah.
out with demons than I would those freaks with all their eyes.
Yeah.
No facts.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also can't get my head around cherubs.
Oh,
Like
little babies, no thanks.
like who's putting who wants a flying baby? It's bad enough when they start crawling. Like I don't
Flying
know.
baby. Don't even like butterflies.
Do you want them just landing on your head?
Oh, oh, yeah. I think Lord of the Rings takes it.
Yeah, I mean, I know big beardy man. It was just Gandalf because he's a wizard. I don't know. I feel like yeah, I just haven't read the Bible and I haven't watched it. I mean, I've watched Lucifer. I actually didn't know until I watched Lucifer that like his surname is actually Morningstar. I thought they'd just come up with that for the show. And I just didn't think it was very him personally. But now I get it. Have you watched
Yeah.
Little Nicky?
Favorite Adam Sandler film ever.
Why
I
is
love
it
it.
the best? The man with boobs on his head is just an icon. I just
It's
think that's
hilarious.
that was like my first kind of like film into like hellish things and demons and like non-horror. And I just loved it. I thought it was really funny.
It's so silly. You know what? I don't care. Adam Sandler films are they're just so dumb and I love them. I actually love
He
them.
he's the
Turn your
same in
brain off and just
everything.
have a good time.
Genuinely.
I'm gonna drag us back into the realm of books.
How did we get into hellish films?
I'm gonna I'm gonna give you a question.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Oh. Wow.
not
Bring it
witty,
on.
that's just what I'm doing. Okay. What genre of book do you think would be objectively the best in bed?
Objectively, it's hard because obviously subjectively, I would. Oh, that's not your question though. I was going to pick my romanticy era. You've got your princes of hell would kill anyone that touches it, but that's not objective, is it? So we're talking like objective, like human wide, adult only, obviously. Genre. I'm
Hmm.
gonna have to say then, objectively, I'm a gal of science. It's gonna have to be a non-fiction book on like sex for dummies or something like. Because I don't know, fiction wise, certainly
What
not
kind of
horror.
genre do you think would woo you?
Woo. I wouldn't
What?
say young adult. That would be cringy. Definitely won't say kids because that's just gonna take us off air. I do think new adult, but I don't know. It could be. I actually think horror would be good at the wooing because it'd grab your attention, get you on your
Yeah,
toes, get you
sultry.
shivering, goosebumps. Yeah. Um, Maybe even a bit of a crime thriller because everyone
Ooh.
likes a bad guy. Do you know what I mean? So murderers line up. Um, or for me, a cookbook any day of the week. Serve me a platter and I'll be. Do you know what I mean? What's your answer? I bet yours is.
I've not given, to be fair, I'm not giving on the from something dumb. I'm thinking gothic horror. I'm thinking
Oh.
Edgar Allan Poe or
Oh, okay.
like a Wuthering Heights. Like yeah, the like
Yes.
sultry gothic horror with the Byronic hero and the he's morose. He's like he's
Yeah.
melancholy. There's just nothing
Yeah.
sexier than now I'm not depressed. Absolutely romanticizing melancholia again.
That is such a good bio as well. Oh God. Are we talking like broody? Not
Oh
broody.
yeah.
That means you want kids, isn't it? Brooding.
Yeah, that's the one. I did it again. I was like, she knows more than me.
That's never been true. I love that. Ah. Oh, okay. Do you know what? I think yeah, I see that a lot actually. Yeah, Edgar Allan Poe-esque. Someone that like reads your poetry beforehand.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Certainly not the
Kind of
Bible.
yeah, a good kind of sap.
Is that
Like
is that your
you know,
time?
there's like some lads are just like wet flannels. And it's like they're but in a gross way, in a limp way. And some boys
Hmm.
are wet in a sort of like brooding, sullen vampire way. And that's where we're trying
Yeah.
to where
It's
there's
the
still an element
sun.
of charisma.
Oh yeah, and it's that immortal who's had like a century of just brooding misery, still hasn't found his one true love. She's always in the modern era, and
Oh,
but genuinely, you saying that someone was writing about books about this character from Gilmore Girls, blah blah blah, and they mentioned how like she was obsessed with him because he was the typical leather jacket bad boy who had a book in his back pocket like a dog-eared book. And I realized that not him, the book, that would be the book that would be the best. I think that book that's
yeah,
traveled, it's been well
yes.
read, it's been loved, it's been fingered. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
The dream. Truly, that's all we want.
going on your hinge, isn't it?
Oh,
Oh God, that's
oh,
a good question. I like your question.
oh,
And I
thanks.
actually I have, do you know, weirdly I have a question like that, but
Oh,
different. So you ready?
give
So
it to
this
me.
one is, what genre combinations of a book would make the ideal best friend?
Oh, I think I want fantasy, but a really specific, like early
Mm.
chapter fantasy. I'm talking like Hobbiton, with like the wholesome, like
Yeah.
before the wars start happening and before the like dragons come and try and kill everyone. That sort of like
Community.
wholesome village with the
Yeah.
like usually it's going to be a hobbit or a dwarf or
Yeah.
like what are they called in this is not a book but in Dark Crystal the like gel gel
Gelves.
gel
Are they
the
good?
little like the cute creatures in labyrinth not labyrinth in Dark Crystal.
I don't know what Dark Crystal is.
It's you know Labyrinth.
Yeah.
It's like he did it two films at a similar time, and it's a bit like
D
Labyrinth. Same
Bowie.
vibe. No, no, no.
Uh,
Jim Henson. Yeah,
Goblins.
yeah, sim.
Trolls.
Yeah, they're cute. They live in like the woods. Very nice. That kind of ilk. Like
Yes.
like before you go on your quest in Zelda.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
a mixture of yeah, I guess that, and also young adult.
It's got to be said, isn't it? There's something. I'm almost 30, but something's got to be said about young adult.
Because they just like there's something about teenage friendships that are just it just they that you think they're never going to end. They're the only thing that matters to you because you don't have to
Hmm.
pay bills or like
Yeah.
rent. Like it's all encompassing. So they're like the best
Hmm.
friends that you have.
No, 100%. They're unbothered by like when you read like an adult book, like a normal adult fiction that's not like supernatural. They're always talking about how she's struggling in her career and she's just and it's like no, that doesn't matter. Yeah, young adults,
Yeah,
even if it isn't like like a vampire one, they treat everything like it's life or death. Like, and I love it. I love that
yeah.
intensity. That
I
is your
never
best mate.
left teen angst ever. I'm 25 this year and I'm still like, ugh, the world sucks. I hate everyone. Ugh.
I mean, the world does suck, but I think that should be a separate podcast. Oh, we'd have some stuff to say. Um, but no, same. Like they're the ones that are just journaling, making time capsules. They just want to see some fireworks over a river. Do you know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
get that. It's a good best
yeah.
friend, high school best friend. Not even high school, secondary school, but because of these books, I say high school.
Okay, let's go curveball with this one. We
Oh,
might be for a while.
oh God.
What kind of classic horror movie villain is each word type? So I'm talking noun, adverb, verb, adjective. There's another one, isn't there? Noun, verb, adverb, adjective.
I, yeah, just the main four.
Yeah,
I
main
don't know the
four.
other ones,
We're not
but
doing
that's
we're not doing like fucking conjunction.
compound. Yeah, conjunctivitis or whatever it is. That is such a niche question. That is incredible. That is oh God. I mean, I was literally watching Pointless with my dinner and one of the rounds was on nouns and verbs. This is meant to be. Uh okay, so your noun is your classic title. I think your noun has got to be a proper horror villain who's, renowned by the name. Um I don't want to say Jigsaw. That is I don't know. Right, name some villains for me again so I can get a category.
Okay, right. Either we can go like the like early. We can go like Dracula, Frankenstein,
Oh,
the Mummy,
yes.
them boys,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
we can do like Michael, them boys, Michael,
No, no,
Jason.
I like your early ones, but I can't think past Dracula and Frankenstein. Is that
Okay, we've got Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolf Man, the Invisible Man, Jekyll and
Oh,
Hyde, uh,
oh yeah.
Phantom of the Opera, the Swamp Thing, and the Mummy.
Okay, I will say Jekyll and Hyde are probably adjectives because again, they are literally defined by their personality types,
Mhm.
which is a descriptor. And again, you can have a good adjective and a bad adjective, and it changes the whole sentence, and that changes his whole personality. So that's Jekyll and Hyde. God, what would Dracula be? Noun, because that man is defined by his name. I mean, I think
That's a good one.
you can say the Wolfman, you can say the Mummy, but other connotations. I mean, if you say Wolfman, to me, I think of Jacob from Twilight. Do you know what I mean? It's so there is, and the Mummy, cracking film, always on ITV2, or My Own Mom, depending on. But yeah, Dracula is just you know exactly what you're getting. What are the other ones? Adverb. Use it in a sentence. A fast run. Is that one?
Yeah, like describing a verb.
I'm gonna say though, because you've got me thinking, Dracula would be a Times New Roman to me. Or Century Gothic. Oh no. Century Gothic's far too modern. I don't know enough font types to actually do that, so I should have started that one. Oh, I don't know. What would you say for an adverb? What's the other
Adverb.
one? Noun, adjective, adverb, verb. Yeah. I just don't know. I think an adjective, an adverb is like a second to the verb, which is a second to Dracula. So it's probably got to be the werewolf, because to me it's always vampires then werewolves. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, always.
I'm sorry. Do you know, I do love wolves. I'm obsessed with the moon. I could, but again, it's just always vampires above werewolves. And then what else am I missing?
Verbs.
Doing, running, jumping. What? Who does the most? Which of these horror characters does the most?
Who's doing the most?
Yeah.
Who've
Who's
we got
one of
left?
the
We've got
villains?
Swamp Guy,
Swamp
Mr.
Guy.
Creature from the Black Lagoon,
Oh,
Phantom of the Opera.
he's doing a lot.
He does the most.
He's
Your ass.
he's very verb, to be fair. He's just so verb.
The Mummy, but I feel like the Mummy does the opposite of the most.
Just the least, yeah.
Frankenstein. We've not had a Frankenstein's monster.
I think Frankenstein's misunderstood again, though. The monster, I mean. Just,
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
it just doesn't mean
He's very
you know,
articulate in the book. He doesn't. He speaks he talks a lot in the book. He's very
really.
yeah.
See, because like he didn't ask to be born. Do you know what I mean? And
Who did? Not me.
It's Frankenstein our spokesperson now. Like, oh, oh my God, that was a good question though. That was a very good bookish thinker for sure.
Thank you.
I like your style there. Okay, I think to end it, we should do much like a book would. And now we can either end it poetically or on a cliffhanger, which I hate. Do you know, I'd love to get to the point where we actually have people listening and they like pitch ideas to us.
Oh, that would be the dream. That would be the dream. If you do listen to this first episode, gang, drop us a DM over on Instagram, or actually that's
LinkedIn.
probably the best place. Yeah,
Yeah.
send it on Instagram. I'll be
Yeah.
there. I'll answer.
Or a
I've got
written
nothing else
letter
to
to
do.
me. Yeah.
Or just like send it, put it in a bottle and throw it to sea, and we'll get it eventually.
Oh, to be fair, I live by the Mersey, so head up north and then I'll get it on the winds. I like it though. I like just, but even for nothing else, I like just talking to you. I do like talking about you, so talking to you
Oh,
about
thank you.
weird creative things. It's very us.
Low stakes creativity. Everyone should be doing it.
I do think as well at some point we should talk about being like creators ourselves, writers, maybe even read a page of raw, unedited material. I
We
wouldn't do
absolutely
that.
should. Oh, we should do that thing where you make a story, like, and we should do it, and but we should do it like a sentence at a time and see what we come
Yeah.
out with. Yeah.
Do you know, quickly weird tangent, although I should probably save it for that episode. But I did that once with Ben, but it was like while we were cooking dinner, I thought, let's just tell a story. It got to the point where we were so invested in the story that I cried and have since written about it on Medium about how I cried, and I turned it into a lesson on handling criticism because we got to this whole point where my idea was, right, well, I think we should poison the town water supply for this bit to erase the memories of and Ben was like, is that reasonable though? And I'm like, we've created a German witch. And I'm like, don't talk to me about reasonable. And for some reason, I think I was so hungry because we'd slowed down making dinner because of this discussion that I just started crying that he didn't like my idea. So it could be tough. I think we should do it.
We should
Let's write a
absolutely
story.
do it. Thank you,
Live on air.
listener. Come back. You can find us on, because the Zoom is about to close. So you can find us on Instagram. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Acast, Spotify, Apple, anywhere you get your podcasts. You can find Miss Emily on, where can I find you, my love?
In my email. If you could, and on LinkedIn, I don't use social media, but I might just revive it so that we can promote this baby. Beautiful. So you can find me on Instagram too.
You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok, YouTube. They're your main three. You can find Letterbox, and I have a shop on Redbubble where I sell art. All of it, Fennel Witch.
Pleasure.
Peace out. Love you. See you later.
Love you. Bye.